In this video, I'm going to show you how you can easily remove the blades of a wood chipper as well as sharpen them. In this Sun Joe, there's this slot here that you place a screwdriver or thin metal object in order to keep the rotor in place so it's not spinning as you try to move the blades. If you don't have the weird Allen key that they have comes with it, I recommend using a ratchet with a hex drive socket. It's a lot easier than using these Allen keys anyway. This is what the blade would look like. They're usually two-sided, and the bolt is pretty short, so be careful when you're removing it so you don't drop the blade in a difficult to reach area in the chipper. Now that you have your blades out, it's time to sharpen them. Of course, make sure they're nice and clean. You can use rubbing alcohol to clean them off. Works pretty well. I wouldn't use any other cleaners necessarily, like degreasers, as that can be corrosive to it. A little bit of rust is fine, but a whole lot of rust and heavy pitting is not. A 400 grit and a 1000 grit stone is the minimum. A polishing stone around 4000 grit makes it a little easier to do. A little bit nicer of an edge. Alright, when you're sharpening this, they're double-edged, so do be careful of that. Find the bevel and try to move in just one direction. And when it's like this with the bevel, don't want the point facing toward you when you pull, as it tends to snag and can rock and round over the edge you're trying to work on. So going away from the edge when you're sharpening is best. It does take a lot longer because it's very hard steel and you're trying to be really careful to maintain the angle on the edge and not round it over. But these are like these ones are $11 a piece, two of them, 22 bucks to replace them. You don't have to worry about balancing if you do this. If you're just removing, you're just sharpening them if they're dented or nicked or whatever. You're going to have to remove a lot of steel, in which case you might start to worry about balancing issues. Other than that, it's just a matter of sharpening them. So you got a good burr formed on the 1000 grit side. I'm obviously not going to do the whole sharpening video here because it'll just take too long and bore you. To remove the burr, we're just using 1000 grit stone. Flip it over and push into the edge, trying to hold it as flat to the stone as possible. A few inch stroke, enough to remove the burr without forming a burr on the other end.